Something bigger has just arrived. NGW Unlimited is now NGW Unlimited Plus. More action, more history, more chaos. We've added the IWA Productions Library, featuring full events from 2022 through 2026. Years of rivalries, championships, and moments that you need to see. And for the first time ever, Girl Fight from 2016, featuring a main event showdown between Melanie Cruz and Thunder Rosa.
And you can watch the complete season 1 of On the Road with Donde's Toy.
When I roll on the window, yell at the cows, Donde.
Season 1 out now. Season 2 now in production.
Donde, how do you get in my studio?
Oh crap! Donde has to go?
NGW Unlimited Plus. Available now for free on Google Play, Apple App Store, Fire TV, and Roku.
Also now available on Apple TV as well. Sounds delicious.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to NGW High Voltage. I am the camera guy. Tonight I'm joined by the loudest mouth at the commentary table, the Guido, and the main attraction, Tommy Cox. Yes, that's right. There are 3 of us tonight.
Nope, do not adjust your sets. We are all 3 of us are here. All 3 of us are ready to talk to our incredible guest, our main eventer. And, Tommy, how are things going for you, man?
Oh, they're just going fantastic. As long as I'm not outside, it's sweltering. Absolutely awful outside.
Little warm outside around here, huh?
I may have to leave and come back again. I can't hear Alex.
Again?
Oh, no.
Again.
All right. All right, well, go ahead and try that. We'll see you back here shortly.
Alrighty.
I think maybe he just didn't want to hear my voice at all. I don't know.
Which I don't see why. I mean, you know, there's nothing really annoying about your voice.
Oh, well, thank you, Guido. Oh, all right. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
The classic line. All right. But, yep, we have a little bit of a different format for our guests tonight. But before we get to that, we do have a little bit of one of my favorite things to do. That's right. We have some breaking news.
I was hoping it was breaking news because the other thing you talk about being your favorite thing, we can't show on this podcast.
Really? PG, Guido. PG.
That is very PG. Thank you very much.
All right, but we do have a little bit of a breaking news. I've actually got quite a bit of it here. To start out with, recently added to NGW Unlimited Plus, there have been 3 IWA shows added recently, and those are actually 3 never-before broadcast before shows. And that is Slams for Scholarships from 2024 and 2025, and Chris Bean's Birthday Bash. Those are available right now to be streamed on NGW Unlimited Plus under the IWA section. And we are currently at, grab my little device here, 55,435 hours streamed on NGW Unlimited Plus.
I mean, that's a lot. I mean, you think about that.
That is an insane amount.
I mean, but don't forget also, you know, we have these IWA shows. We have every NGW show. We have every episode of NGW High Voltage, the fine podcast you are watching right now, as well, of course, On the Road with Donde, which season 2 is still in production, and all of this for the low price of free $99.
Yeah, but, you know, that's not the only little bit of NGW Unlimited Plus news that we have. At midnight, guys.
Tonight?
Midnight tonight. NGW Full Circle will be available on NGW Unlimited Plus.
Very good.
So, yep, the NGW's glorious return to Collinsville, Illinois.
I mean, I can't wait
All
to
right.
see that.
Oh, it was a fantastic show. Somebody had their debut NGW match there. I wonder who that was.
Who, this guy?
That guy right there.
That guy right there?
Yep.
Hey, if I remember correctly, and I do, I didn't get pinned. Nor did I submit.
This is true. This is true.
But how did that happen?
But you didn't pick up the victory, though.
There was some commotion. There was some confusion. I don't
There
know
were
what happened.
shenanigans.
There may have been a little bit of shenanigans.
Was there any tomfoolery and or goings on?
There was. Well, we don't talk about that. We don't talk about that.
Yeah.
Consider it Bruno.
But
Don't talk about it.
But
Yeah, we
we
don't
also
spoil
have
anything for
some
anybody.
breaking news in regards to the next NGW show, and that is going to be NGW Aftermath at the Muscuda AG Building in Chevy Park, Saturday, August 15th. It was announced a little bit earlier this week that Lexi Green, the NGW Women's Champion, will be defending her title against Viola Strange.
Okay, now we got Witchy Woman versus Wishy Woman.
Yep.
Sam, get in here. We're gonna need the Black Cat. Definitely need the Black Cat magic for that one. Sam.
But does anybody in here watch the Dr. Dallas show every Sunday at 7 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook? Just me?
Oh, I do. I just.
Oh, you do?
Oh,
Well,
yeah.
do you remember what happened a couple weeks ago after Melee and Muscuda 4?
Oh, shoot. A lot's happened in the past couple weeks, so.
But there is somebody in management who watches the Dr. Dallas show because a couple weeks ago, Dr. Dallas and JSO issued a challenge on the Dr. Dallas show, and that challenge was to the NGW Tag Team Champions, A Boy and His Monster. And that challenge was for a no count out, no DQ match for the NGW Tag Team titles. And Phoenix Quinn saw that, got the paperwork in line, and Dr. Dallas Stevens and JSO, it is official, your request has been granted. You will be facing A Boy and His Monster in a no DQ, no count out match for the NGW Tag Team Champions Saturday, August 15th.
Well, I'm guessing the Pony Club's being sick and tired of being sick and tired, and simply and instead of going home with the championships, just simply going home. So, well, the one thing I have to ask is this that last ditch effort? I mean, you know, they've gone after A Boy and His Monster as the Junkies for Fame. Then this past show they brought out Mini Horse. That didn't work. And now they're trying to get the Rules thrown completely out the window.
Which,
So,
honestly, with the Pony Club is kind of an environment that they tend to thrive in.
You know,
Yeah.
also,
Even if that's the environment they thrive in, I have watched Shrapnel and I have watched Savage in their own right get down and dirty with some hardcore shenanigans. I don't know, man. I don't know. You throw out that rule book, then you take all of the reservations off of those two guys too. So
yeah,
And
exactly.
of course, we're going to be having even more upcoming match announcements over the next few weeks. So make sure you keep an eye out on the NGW Facebook page.
Yeah, and of course, you know, watch this wonderful broadcast, this wonderful show, High Voltage.
Yeah, every once in a while we have some breaking news around in these
Yeah.
parts.
Yeah, exactly. And you can watch this and every episode on NGW Unlimited Plus, available on Roku TV, Amazon Fire TV, Apple TV, as well as the App Store and Google Play.
We have Jerry Morty down in the comments saying, A Boy and His Monster are way more explosive in that environment.
Yeah, exactly.
Jerry is a man who will know what he's talking about for the most part.
No, I mean, because I'm thinking,
Yes.
yeah, that's the thing. Is the rules apply to everyone.
And we
Yeah.
also have Dr. Dallas Stevens down in the comments saying, we will be NGW Tag Team Champions.
Well, you're going to be one of two things: either NGW Tag Team Champions or staying on the mat.
All right. But, as we said at the top of the show, we do have 3 hosts tonight. We have a special guest host with us tonight, main attraction Tommy Cox. And the reasoning for that is, even though both Guido and myself have set foot inside of a wrestling ring, neither of us is a wrestler. What,
We
Guido?
technically have, because both of us have been participants in a Rumble.
This is true, but we are not regularly wrestlers.
That is true, but no matter how
I mean,
short or long,
I would not put myself into the same category as Tommy Cox is or anybody else as being a wrestler.
Oh no, and
I'm just a guy
neither
who
would I.
wound up in a wrestling ring.
And neither would I. But we got something.
But
we got something that nobody can take away from us.
What's that?
It's that even for that short time, we were a professional wrestler. And that's something a lot of these people in that you hear chirping in the cheap seats can't take away from us.
Yeah, but neither one of us, we're not challenging for titles. We're not climbing the ranks. Unlike Mr. Tommy Cox here, who, is just beginning his wrestling career. And our guest tonight, Wildman Beast, he's already a Hall of Famer. He's already in the IWA Productions Hall of Fame. And he is going to, this year, going into the class of 2026 Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. So, well, Guido and I are not wrestlers, and Tommy is a wrestler. We feel that for somebody of this caliber who's going into the Independent Wrestling Hall of Fame, we need to have a wrestler here to help us out, to ask questions, especially about the differences between when Beast got into the business and when Tommy's getting into the business now, the difference in the experiences, and, just it's a great opportunity for Beast to pass on the knowledge that he has to a new generation. So what do you say we go ahead and bring on our guest for tonight? Everybody, please welcome to NGW High Voltage, Wildman Beast.
Good evening. Good evening.
Put you in the
How are
seat
you?
of honor here, sir. How are you doing this evening?
I'm doing really good. Besides the heat outside, I'm staying indoors in the AC.
No, I don't blame you one bit.
Not at all.
All right, so Wildman Beast, this year you have the honor of going into the 2026 Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame.
Mm-hmm. Yes, I do. I'm
And
highly honored about it. When I received the call last year, I was actually at dinner with my mother and father, and when I got the call, I thought someone was joking around. I'm like, okay, this is a joke. Yeah, okay. And he's like, yeah, this is this, and we'd like to welcome you to the 20. And I kind of broke down and cried, and my mom and dad, like normal parents would, what's going on? Did someone pass away? Did one of your wrestling buddies get hurt or whatever? And I told him, he's like, well, it's well deserved. He's like, you've been all over the world. You traveled, you wrestled some of the biggest names in the industry. You put your body through a lot, and even in the independent scene, to me, I'm still in shock. It probably won't hit me until the day of the award ceremony when I actually get the induction, the actual inductions, and on my behalf, Matt Maniac, Mr. GQ, I asked him to induct me into the Hall of Fame. So I can't wait to hear this speech and all the great other legends that I'm in the 2026 Hall of Fame. Some of these guys I've wrestled, some of them have managed me. This is going to be a huge thing this year.
Yeah, that is taking place on Sunday, July 19th at Andre's Banquet and Catering in St. Louis. And we have some love for you from Marianne Savage saying, well deserved on your induction.
Thank you very much. It's
So,
go ahead.
Oh, no, I was going to ask, how long have you been in this crazy business of professional wrestling?
Well, 36 years.
Tommy, are you
36.
even 36 years old?
No, I'm not.
So you weren't probably even thought of at the point.
No, not even close. No, I don't even think my parents were together at that time.
I think there's some people whose parents weren't even born when you started. So
Yeah, I mean, I don't look my age, but yes, I'll go ahead and tell you, I just turned 55 this year. So yes, I know I don't look my age, but starting at a young age in the business, it was a great opportunity. It was just a funny story how I actually got involved with it. There was some events here locally in Chicago where I reside at. It was a place called the UFC Pavilion on Harrison Street, and I had won some tickets off the radio just to be a fan. And before I became a fan, my grandmother was a huge NWA wrestling fan, and every day after church, we'd walk back to her house, and I'll sit in her kitchen and do my homework, and I would hear her screaming and yelling, "Get off of her! That's not fair! Stop it!" And when you're a young kid, curiosity kills the cat. It's like, who is she yelling at? No one's in her room. So I creeped to her bedroom and I creaked the door open, and it was Nature Boy Ric Flair against the American Dream Dusty Rhodes. And
classic.
that's what had caught my eye. At that point, I wasn't really thinking about becoming a wrestler. My family was very strict, so was my grandmother. We were more like a helpful family, and if someone needed help or whatever, it was, lend a hand, I always gave the shirt off my back, and that's how I was brought up. And I was studying to become a priest back in the day. And then once I seen wrestling, I'm like, maybe this is something that I want to do. And my grandmother was like, "Oh God, please do not tell your mom and dad that I got you sitting in here watching wrestling with you." But after that, God rest my grandmother. So she actually had the opportunity to see me wrestle on national TV for an organization called the American Wrestling Federation, and
I have
I didn't
seen
know.
that. I have
Yeah,
seen one of your matches because I know there's a few wrestlers from the area, yourself, Hawk Elliott, Pretty Boy Floyd, all of you went there. Although I have to that we're on the point of the AWF.
hmm
Now for those that don't know, see if there's some matches on YouTube. See if you can find one with a Hubert Simpson. Oh yeah, I remember that, and you did have a good showing despite the matches ending probably a little quicker than you'd hope.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
it's where they're trying to introduce the American wrestling audience to the British round system.
Right.
So it was pretty interesting in concept, but how I think you've actually told me the story before of why they changed your name. Why instead of going by Wildman Beast, you went by Hubert Simpson in that.
Yeah, due to me still doing, I was still wrestling with WCW at the time as back in the day they called us jobbers, and I was still with WCW, so they's like, well, you can't use the Wild Man Beast because that's your independent wrestling name, so you have to come up with something else. And I said, okay, I'll come up with Hubert Simpson. And from that point on, that's what they called me. But before, even with when I was doing WCW, I still had to use Hubert Simpson. And my very first match, I don't know the year, but I know it was in Detroit, Michigan at the Cobo Arena in front of 20,000 plus fans. My first match was wrestling the Barbarian, and Nick Patrick was the referee of that match.
Wow.
So I have to but this I think we're just going to be going down a rabbit hole here because of all the stories you have told me, or at least I've heard you talking, this is the first I've heard about you being enhancement talent in WCW. How
Yeah.
did that come about?
Well, like I said, it was just I was just at the right place at the right time, and the gentleman that was doing ring crew, his name is Drew Tassel from Minnesota. He was doing the ring crew and traveling and everything, and he asked, "Hey kid, you want to help tear down the ring?" I'm like, "Sure." So I start tearing down the ring, and he's like, "You want to get trained for this?" I'm like, "Really?" And I had to get permission from my mother and father because he wanted to take me out on the road and help train me and stuff like that. But while I was on the road, I trained during that, and then I had the opportunity to meet Brad Riggins and Kid Patera, who trained Big Van Vader and some of the other Minnesota guys, and had the opportunity to train with those guys. And me, here's a funny story: me being a city boy, never been in a country before, and training, I thought, okay, you're going to be in the ring. No, it was pure hell for me. Me being a city boy, chopping lumber and walking it from the middle of a field to the barnyard. And you had to carry each log on your shoulders, walk back and forth. And then after that, you had to clean up the pigsty. Good grief, the smell of that. For a city boy, yeah. But in the long run, it really helped me out with my cardiovascular. So when you get in the ring and you do the running and doing your moves and so forth, it helped with my cardio, and it was phenomenal. So when I started traveling, I would smell pig poop or horse poop and like the fresher air, and people are like, that's gross. I'm like, nope, I'm used to the smell.
Yeah,
Oh.
because I know I weird people out when I take in when going through your more rural areas because um, despite growing up in little Chicago, everything around it is farmland,
Yeah,
and my dad was one of 10 kids growing up on a farm, so I got put through my paces in I mean, we didn't have to clean pig size or anything because they raise beef cattle, but the same thing kind of applies. But and
they
is
they
the ring set up in the barn?
Kim Patera and Brad wanted me to clean up Bull, but I said no. That was a little too much for me.
Yeah.
So they, in their perspective, that's Bull bleep. So I'm
Uh-huh.
like, yeah, I don't do that. But it
All right,
was
we
it
got
was. Go ahead.
we got a couple of comments here in the chat. Want to bring up? We have Justice Savage saying, "I've had the privilege and honor of sharing a locker room with Beast, as well as shared the ring with him a couple times. Learned so much from him. It's always a pleasure to see him, and this Hall of Fame induction is truly very well deserved."
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, I remember. I remember wrestling Savage. He was kind of nervous because he heard all the horror stories. Oh, Beast to kill you. He's this, and this. He's a crazy lunatic. But when I'm in the locker room, I'm more of the what you call the jokester, the laid back guy. And people would come up to me and say, "Hey, what should I do in the match?" Because they some of them didn't have ideas, and I would give them the best of my ability and best of my knowledge to say, "Hey, look, you can do this, so forth, so forth." And they were like, "Hey, it would be an honor if you would watch my match. Could you critique it for me?" And when I would, after the matches, they would wind down and they would come to me and say, "Beats, how did it look?" And I said, "Well, you need to do this a little more, this and this." And a lot of guys, respected me. Anybody that had stepped in the ring with me feared me, but I was one of the old school guys that I played all my fans like puppets. And whether they hated me or loved me, a lot of the fans had feared me, but but they when they found out how big of a teddy bear I was outside of the ring, they was like, "Oh, he's such a sweetheart." But when I'm in the ring, they they wanted to wring my neck. They wanted to chop lumber on me. It's like, hey, it is what it is.
Yeah.
And
We got a
some.
question.
And, go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, we got a question for you from the infamous Dardar asking, what is one thing you want to tell people who want to train to be a wrestler?
Well, if you want to be trained as a wrestler, go to the proper schools. There are some schools out there that do not train guys properly, guys or girls properly. You can go to Harley Racist Camp, SICW, NGW. Go to where and IWA. Go to where go to Pro Wrestling Epic. Go to these
Ignite Pro.
go to
Yep.
different promotions that are highly qualified to train wrestlers. Don't go to these low life wrestling schools that only train you to do this and this and rob you of your money, and you don't really get anywhere. And my thing is, when you're trained, they have to train you the proper way. My number There's several things on my list when I train guys. I tell you another story. I did wrestle Trevor Murdoch before he became the big star that he is. His very first match was with the Wildman Beast. You can ask him. I really took care of him, that which I didn't have to. Him and I are still good friends and so forth like that. But I'm very proud of all of his success that he's made in the wrestling business. And I've learned a lot from the guys like Eddie Guerrero, Chris Benoit, the Road Warriors, Sting, Luger, Flair. All those guys. I had the opportunity to sit down with them. Big Van Vader. My list goes from here to China if I wanted to. I even had the opportunity to sit with Muda, even though his derelict of English wasn't that good, but I still learned a lot from him and the late great Harley Race. When I went to Kansas City to do an event out there, all the guys would go over to Harley Race's house for dinner, and me being the green guy stayed at the building as usual out of respect, and ordered a pizza delivered to the building. And all of a sudden I see this nice Cadillac pull inside the building, and lo and behold, it's Harley Race. And he's like, "I'll tell you, kid, what are you doing?" I said, "I'm waiting for a pizza to deliver. I'm hungry." "Well, call that freaking place, cancel the order, and get in my car." I'm like, "What for?" "You're going to eat at my house." And who can say in their independent, not even a well-known wrestler at the time, can say that they actually ate at Harley Race's house?
No.
This guy.
Yeah. I was about to say, I mean, I had the great fortune only to meet Harley Race once,
Mhm.
and I was at a show in Little Chicago, and that was well before I even had the inkling of the dream to be in this business. So, but that's the thing. That's a high honor, you know,
Yes, it is. And,
that
and,
he
and
saw something in you, wanted to.
yeah, he's seen a lot in me, and he's like, "Tell your story," and every locker room that I went in, I would tell guys, "Hey, look, you do this, this, and this." And a lot of guys laughed at me. They thought I was blowing smoke up their butts. So I'm like, okay, I'll just keep my mouth shut. And then it was several times when I was in locker rooms where you had Harley Race there, Tommy Wildfire Rich, or Ricky Morton, or Mr. Hughes in a locker room. And first thing they walk up, "Beans, what are you doing here?" I'm like, "Hey, just like you guys are here." And then all the other wrestlers are looking at me like, "Wow." And I said, "Well, I tried to tell these guys the story, but they don't believe me." And all the names are like, "What do you mean they don't believe me?" I'm like, "Well, they think I'm sitting here lying." And then when the guys start, the superstars like Harley Race and Mr. Hughes and them start telling, "Hey, if he tells you he's done this, you better listen because he knows his craft." And then after that, that's when I started getting people, "Oh, can you get me booked where you're booked at?" Well, no, you thought I was lying. Sorry. Now you have to work your way to where I get. You can't you couldn't even lace my boots up if I asked you to lace them up for me.
Now, also, when you broke into the business, it was a lot more secretive. Kayfabe was alive and well, and it's kind of like it's weird how my head works very weird. I keep likening it to the pimp game, and to where it's the games to be sold, not to be told, where it was very secretive.
Yes.
Sugar holds were used. They work guys over before even giving us like a sniff of a chance to be let in on the business and breaking in that way. Was it like that for you, or did they see you and see like because these were you could eyeball potential, and a lot of these guys were very good at it. Guys like Harley Race, guys like the Funks. Was
Yes.
it like that for you, or was there the feeling out process, if you will?
It was still the kayfabe. It was more the strong brotherhood. But when they seen me, I was raised up right, and that's what basically they look for. They look for much more of the respect, the honor of the business, and that's what I did. Whenever I seen them, I gave them their space. I always called him Mr. Rays or Mr. Hughes or Mr. Flair, and I was like, yes, sir, no, sir, this and this. Is there anything that I can do for you? Is there any coffee I can get for you or anything? They was like, kid, settle down. And I'm like, yes, sir. And I would sit, in the hallway in a chair with my bag sitting next to me. And after a while, they seen that I was very respectful and I never gave any details or anything like that. And they was like, okay, now you can sit in the locker room with us and pick our brains. And I learned so much from them, you know. Even Steven Regal, showed me a few things, and I don't want to give that away, but it was just funny that when he showed me at a WCW event, I actually took it on the road to an independent show, and I came back a few weeks later and said, "It worked, it worked." He's like, "See there?" I'm like, "Wow." Even Paul Orndorff, God rest his soul, taught me a few things. Even Matt Bourne, the original Doink, him and I became best of friends, and I introduced him to his first wife. So I have a lot of, if I see potential in someone, I would say, hey, look, you got potential, this and this and stuff, but if you disrespect the business, I have no respect for you. Because I see a lot of young guys come in, oh, I go to the gym, this and this, and I have this body, and I'm here, and I'm going to make money. And okay, you're in an independent show until you, get to a big name promotion. Then you can talk smack to me. If you haven't been to where I've been, then you need to sit back and learn. And the number one rule is when you come to a building, you need to come there before the ring gets there, the promoter, because your promoter is your boss and the ring guy is the second boss. They look at that and they like, hey, this person comes in early before the ring does and before the boss gets there, and they look at how respectful you are in the locker room. We're all there for a job. After the show or after the wrestling event, help tear down the ring. I don't care how long you've been in the business. Help tear down the ring. Help clean the locker room. I've stayed behind so many times in my lustrous career. Stayed behind, help tear down the ring. Help put chairs away, cleaned up the locker room, and I always got yelled at. I'm like, I got to do this, and they's like, oh, B, she paid your dues. You sit down. You're old. Hey, number one, I'm not old. I still can move around, but I always got yelled at because I was always, there to lend a helping hand, helping tear down the chairs, helping tear down the ring, carrying, whatever needs to be done. And I will clean up the locker room. They're like, B, sit down. You've done enough. You paid to do something. I just want to get out of here and go back to my hotel where I could go soak in my bathtub afterwards. And
We
that's how
got
you go ahead. Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, we got a comment from Jess Savage here saying Night Pro Wrestling LLC school is very good. Train students the right way. You know, that's the school that Mr. Cox has come out of. And I agree. It's a very good school. A very wonderful talent coming out of there. I've had the privilege of being able to photograph people coming up from their first matches and working through. So Mr. Cox, Mr. Beast's talking about, getting there early, setting the ring up. I've seen you do that. I've seen you set out chairs and everything. That aspect seems, pretty much the same nowadays, wouldn't you say?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I see online, I'm in certain groups and stuff, and it'll be what do you think is missing from today's yada yada yada, like, and you'll go through the comments and you'll see a lot of the veterans of like, guys need to show up, they need to be putting in the work, they need to be putting in setting up the ring, doing this, doing that, selling out flyers. Like, to me, it's just another aspect of wrestling, because I was taught that already through Dexter and Billy and all of them. Like, it was instilled in us extremely early. So like, it's nothing that I see that's missing, because I've been doing it since since I got into wrestling as a whole. So like, I think it's cool to like take that kind of backseat. Like, oh, well, I guess I'm learning something right. It's like a good indicator for me.
Right. Mr. Cox, what is one of the wrestling rules 101? I'm gonna see if you know this.
Okay. In what aspect are you looking for?
So far as a professional, what are, just name 3 or 4 things as a professional wrestler. What are the things that you do to make yourself look presentable and professional?
I will clean myself up, obviously. Dressed, not looking like I just came out of work. If I get off work, I'm gonna take the time to get cleaned up before I come in, obviously. You want to be as presentable as possible. You want to walk in and you want to look for the person who's booked you. Like, as soon as you can find it, find that person that invited you, but find the person who booked you as soon as you can, to introduce yourself, to be like, hey, thanks for having me. Even if you're not on the show, hey, if you need anything, let me know. Like, love to be here. Like, glad to see all that you have going on. I think my first introduction to a different show outside of Ignite was NGW. And I went as a ref. It was one of those things of like, hey, they're needing somebody who can fill in that spot. Like, I'll do it. Like, my second or third month in training. On the way there, texted my trainer, like, who do I need to ask for? Who do I go look for? Savage, go look for XYZ, look for these people, introduce yourself. Let them know who you're there with. Let them know I'm the one who sent you there, yada, yada, yada. Go in, shake hands, introduce yourself, make sure people know where you're coming from. Then it's like, what can I do for you? What do you need me to do? And then just going from there. I think it's it's opened more doors, in my opinion, for myself, just knowing that. Like,
There's another rule also, Mr. Cox. Basically, when you come in that building, you're correct. Try to meet the boss who booked you and stuff like that. But also, if there's other people around, whether it's the custodian or someone that's selling, concession, walk up to them, hi, I'm such and such, nice to meet you. Because
oh yeah,
you never know if there's a scout from the big companies to the mediocre companies. If they see that, they're like, hey, I want to get this kid's number, or they'll say, I want to get this kid's number. He's been trained properly, and let me sit down and watch his match, during the show. And then afterwards, boom, hey sir, can you come in? I need to talk to you. Then they'll say, hey, look, give me your phone number and let's talk. Like, what do you mean? You were very professional. That's a key thing. You never know who's in that building, as a scout or anything from any independent company or any of the big name companies. You never know. And my hats tip off to you. Yeah, I put you on the spot, but you took the words right out of my mouth. You are being trained very properly and by the right people. Keep up the good job, man.
I appreciate that.
You're welcome.
We got Marcel saying, I first met Beast at a Rumble for the Kids.
Yeah, those Rumble for the Kids in Princeton, Illinois, those were like our WrestleMania. And every year we raise money to help build playgrounds for the kids out there, and put clothes on some of the poor kids' backs and stuff like that. And every year we would draw at least 2,000 to 3,000 fans every year. So it was a huge thing, and it was just like unbelievable. We had like the local newspaper there. We had TV channels out there. It was one of the hugest events ever, and we raised a lot of money. I'm sad that it's gone, but hey, things come and go. But we did it for, I think the gentleman named Frankie Woeful. We did it for 8 or 9 years strong, and each year we never disappointed nobody. All the fans were happy about it. As soon as they hear about it, tickets would go on sale like right away, and we would sell out. And then the day of the event, people you would pull up and you see like 3 or 4 blocks long full of people standing in line just to wait to get in the building.
So,
Yeah.
Mr. Cox, what questions do you have for me, Mr. Beast?
I would say one, it just kind of popped in my head. When you look back at, you said 36 years you've been doing it.
Yes. Hmm.
What would you say is like maybe a top? Could you give like a top 3 of your what you consider your own personal crowning achievements, or crowning like I'm proud that I did this.
Well, like I said, I'm proud, and this will always be cherished in my head. Wrestling for WCW. Yes, I didn't make the big roster, but I could say I had the opportunity to wrestle for a big name company. It, it, it was just, and learning from a lot of the veterans. Like I said, I had the opportunity to wrestle the Chris Benoit, the Eddie Guerrero, the Road Warriors, the Samoans, and the list goes on and on. My second is just traveling all over, getting bookings, and just getting my name out there. And I had a lot of haters that hated me because of my figure. I'm not one of those muscle bound guys. I'm a big person. I'm 400 some odd pounds. And when people see me, they're like, "Oh, this guy can't do this and this and this." And when they see that I can get in the ring and wrestle with the best of them and actually do moves, I impressed a lot of people, and still got my bookings no matter what. And it's a blessing that I met a lot of independent guys who've always wanted to wrestle me. I wish I could still be wrestling just to fulfill these guys' dream of wrestling the Wildman Beast. Those that have stepped in the ring with me know that I will make them look like $1 million. The match that they would have with me will be like a 5-star, 10-star match. And I love helping out newer guys who are willing to learn more knowledge of the business itself, from the behind the scenes to up front and stuff like that. It's just a huge honor. I've, you know, it's there's I can write a book about it, that which soon I will be, but it's just so much and everything that I want to say. We will this podcast will be 24 hours if I talk, but in the short but in the short version, it's just then the third thing is, I thank my family for dealing with me, traveling, going on the road and stuff like that. But I've had injuries and still went out there, wrestled, and did a lot of things. And God rest my grandmother's soul. The day that my grandmother had passed away, I had to take time away from wrestling to be with the family. And a promoter called me and said, "Hey, I want to book you." And I said, "Right now, I'm not in the mental state of wrestling." And he's like, "Well, I've already got you booked on the flyer." I'm like, "Well, sir, that's not going to happen." Uh, just my family's like, "Go out there, do what go. That's what your grandmother would want." And I'm like, "Yeah, but mentally, I wasn't. Mentally, I wasn't there, but I had to do. My family's like, go and do it because your grandmother wouldn't want you to sit back and mourn." And when I got to the building, a lot of the guys were respectful and gave their condolences and so forth like that. But there was a gentleman. He was a rookie, and I'll just say this: he was very disrespectful and just talking and not coming to me, acknowledging me, and not talking to me or whatever. And right then and there, I'm like, okay, this person's disrespectful. So when we got in the ring, I basically turned him into a human pretzel and showed him how not to disrespect veterans of my caliber in the locker room ever again. And yeah, and people was like, we didn't know a body like that. The guy was, I like to say, 280. And by the time I got finished with him, three refs had to come and basically untangle him, not from the ropes, but from how I twisted his body.
Oh,
Yeah, that's you got to be respectful because if you're not, you're going to have a very long night.
Yes, yes.
Even in a 3-minute match, you're going to have those are going to be the longest 3 minutes of your life.
Yeah.
Oh, I've had a match with Attila Khan, and that man, I think it was a total of 5 minutes, and he could have made that 5 minutes last 30 minutes in my head, just because just walking around, I had a handprint that I could put my own hand over and just place the fingers for 2 weeks on my chest. I wear that as a badge of honor, but man, that was a rough one.
Well, people
I,
sorry, I didn't
no,
interrupt, Beast.
no, I had a kid. His name was Skittles. You guys probably know him, Skittles. I'm quite sure you heard of him. I actually helped train him, and he was in the locker room, and he's like, "Oh, I know martial arts. I know this and this." And the promoter's like, "Hey, you're wrestling Beast tonight." He's like, "Oh, fat guy." And everybody like, "Oh no."
Oh Lord! And I
oh,
can imagine this because I know Skittles, and he was tasting something that night. I'm willing to bet, and the rainbow was not it.
Yeah, he has a picture that he can send you guys how I lit up his chest. The the and yeah, he said the fat guy thing, and then he just was just being disrespectful in the locker room. Like, okay, now I have to teach this little puny kid a lesson. Got out there, gave him a few chops, and lit him up pretty good. And after the third one, he blacked out. I knew he blacked out, so I was like, "Oh no, you don't. Welcome to this business." I'm like, "Now you're gonna get a whooping that your mom and dad should have gave you years ago."
Welcome to the Thunderdome.
Right.
oh
But
my.
he after that he learned his lesson, and he became like one of my second best student. I also trained Pretty Boy Floyd in wrestling, and I trained a couple other people. So yeah,
Yeah, I understand
it's
you had a
a
little bit of a
super.
hand in the training of Savage too.
Yes, yes, I have.
Are you the one who taught him to throw dudes at other dudes?
That's $5 you owe me, camera guy. Judging by that laugh, I'm going to go with yes.
It's like you have people, your camera people there, and they don't realize, hey, look, you got two behemoths coming your way. Get out of the way, and if you don't move, okay, hey, you're going for a ride. What you mean? And you swing them, and it's like, oh, and there's no way to you stop the momentum.
I don't know. Alex is pretty good about getting out of the way, unless there's just a perfect shot that he has to get. He's usually pretty good about getting out of the way.
I have put myself in danger to get those perfect shots.
Very much so.
You've had your bell rung more times than Notre Dame Cathedral. Getting those shots.
Yeah, but it's fun. I did a ring announcer like that one time, and where was I at? In Nebraska.
It wasn't me, I know.
And he was in his cell phone texting and talking to a friend. So I said, okay, I'll wake him up. And he wasn't feeling good that night anyway. So I said, I'll get his heart going. I'll get his adrenaline going. So I was in a battle royal, and I got thrown over the top rope. And I like to fight on the outside. So I'm fighting a gentleman, and we're fighting to the back. And I look and I smile and I start running, and I didn't know there was beer there on the floor, and I slipped and I fell right on top of the guy. And he like, oh my God, oh my God. I'm like, wake up. And I get to the locker room, and he was like, oh my God, what did I do? I said, number one, you were in your phone. Two, I said, did you see this big behemoth running towards? He's like, no, I didn't. I'm like, well, you got to keep your eye on the prize. Get out of your cell phone.
Yeah.
You must be mindful of your surroundings.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what, guys? I think it's about time for one of my favorite segments on the show. And that's a little bit of a game that we like to call Shock Therapy. Now, for anybody new, the way that Shock Therapy works is we ask our guests a series of 3 multiple-choice questions. If they get 2 out of the 3 right, they win a prize for one of our live viewers, and that prize is a signed poster at the next NGW show. And tonight, Beast, you're going to be playing for Jimmy Harris.
Woohoo!
Now we like to tailor our questions to our guest as much as possible.
Okay.
And I couldn't think of a better series of questions to ask you about than another famous beast.
Mortos?
What was that?
I said Mortos.
Mortos? No! The Beast roller coaster.
Or Bam Bam Bigelow.
Beast from the East. I don't know why. Every time I hear of Mortos, I think of this episode of Invader Zim where there was this character called Mortos, their soul stealer. Every time, I swear. But
no, everybody's familiar with the Beast roller coaster, right?
I heard of it. I've heard of it, but I don't like roller coasters.
You know, at least we're not gonna get a lawsuit from the mouse. So.
All right, but yep, we're going to be asking questions about the famous Beast roller coaster. Are you ready, sir?
I hope I am.
All right. Your first question. Where is the Beast roller coaster located? Is it located A, under the arch in St. Louis, B, Kings Island, C, behind the world's largest gas station, or D, inside of an abandoned IKEA?
Oh, geez. I say B, Kings Island.
Going with B, Kings Island, and you are correct. The Beast is the headline roller coaster at the Kings Island theme park.
All right.
All right, 1 down, 2 to go, but you just have to get 1 more right to win that signed poster for Jimmy. You ready for question 2?
I'm ready.
All right, question 2. What is the Beast most famous for? Is it A, for being the world's longest wooden roller coaster, B, having cup holders, C, giving every rider a complimentary chiropractic appointment, or D, once launching a train into low Earth orbit?
It's definitely because it has cup holders.
Really, Tommy? Cup holders on a roller coaster.
I'll say A.
You're going to say A for being the world's longest wooden roller coaster, and you are correct. It is the world's longest roller coaster.
Congratulations, Jimmy.
What's that?
I said congratulations, Jimmy.
Oh, yep. Congratulations. You did win that signed poster. Now, do you know what the length of the beast is?
No, I don't.
2.2 miles of wooden roller coaster track.
Yeah, no, I can't do that. No, no, thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah, that is amazing. The ride was built in 1979.
Ooh.
Oh,
absolutely not.
Two miles wood? Nah.
Well, you got 2 right, so you won that signed poster. But we do still have a third question. Want to see if you can go 3 for 3?
Let's go for it.
Let's do it. All right. The third question. What makes the Beast especially famous among roller coaster fans? Is it A, that the roller coaster actually runs through a large wooden forest? B, the riders get chased by an actual bear for the last 30 seconds? C, the ride pauses halfway through for a motivational speech? Or D, that you have to eat an ice cream cone while you're riding?
Ooh, I would say A again.
And you go with A, that it runs through a large wooden forest, and you are correct. The Beast roller coaster is actually built to go through a wooden forest, and it's actually the world's tallest wooden roller coaster too. But it's weird because the roller coaster is built to go along the natural slopes and curves of the woods.
Yeah. Like I said, if I get on it, the wood better be heavy structure because I don't want to get on and then you hear crack.
Oh.
No, that's when the motivational speech starts happening. They stop it
Right.
when you get on. That's when the motivational speech starts.
Yeah,
That's
Jimmy
true.
Harris saying thank you for winning.
You're welcome, Jimmy.
But Mr. Cox, do you want to ask Beast about any advice that he can give you?
Yeah. I would say being in my first year, there's still so much to learn. So to narrow it down to, so we don't have a super, super long show. I guess I would have to say, what do you measure success by? And what do you think more people should be measuring success by over monetary? Obviously, if you make $1 million, you had some kind of success, right? But
yeah, just like like I said, show professionalism, respect, honor of the business, and and don't forget where you came from when you do become a big superstar. Never forget where you came from, because a lot of guys who have become big superstars forget where they come from, and they forget about, hey, this is where I started from. Each one of these big new superstars came from the independent scene, and some still, think that, the promotions and stuff from where they came from. And then there are some is like, I don't care. I'm making them this $2.8 million. I don't care where I came from. This is where you don't do that. You never ever forget where you came from. Never ever forget the people who helped you out, spoke up for you, trained you and stuff like that. Because without those people who didn't train you and gave you the knowledge of the business, you'll never make it nowhere.
I can agree with that.
And by the way, the gentleman been saying your name. That's a funny name. I was gonna say it, but Mr. Cox, that's kind of like, how do you present yourself? Hi, I'm Mr. Cox. If I was still in the business, I'm one of the jokesters, and you came to me, Mr. Cox, I would have said something else, like, but I can't say it on this program.
It wouldn't be anything I haven't heard my entire life, so I'm completely okay with it. Yeah, it's either one of those, or I get compared to MJF in some way, shape, or form. Those are the two.
My phone, when I put in my phone for Ty to be a part of this, my phone ribbed him. Do you remember what my phone did to you, or did to your name?
Yeah, I corrected the spelling, didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Corrected.
Yeah.
Yeah, what kind of things am I typing into my phone?
Did you mean this? It's what you usually look for, Alex.
And we're off the rails again.
Yeah. Well, I think we're really about to go off the rails. We have Jimmy in the comments to ask you about karaoke and your favorite dance.
Well, karaoke, I love doing. There's 3 songs that I usually sing. One is by Tom Jones. It's not unusual to be loved by anyone. And
please tell me the dances of Carlton. Please tell me the dances of Carlton.
Yes, a 400-pound guy of my caliber dances like Carlton. Yes.
As you should. As you should.
And I also been told, even when I was wrestling, like if I'm driving or whatever, I got pulled over by the cops one time, and they thought I was CeeLo Green. So that's another song that I like to sing. CeeLo Green, "F You" for karaoke, and then one of my all-time favorites is always, something that I sang, and even at my retirement, was Frank Sinatra, "My Way."
Oh, that's good. So you get out like every weekend to do karaoke then?
Once in a while, but definitely when I'm in town in 2 weeks in St. Louis, I'll be at Murphy's in St. Louis, and they having karaoke, and I will be singing a couple of songs, the songs that I just told you guys about, and I'll probably go live and show everybody.
Oh, well, I tell you, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on here with us tonight, Mr. Beast.
Thank you. It's been a great honor, guys. Thank you, Mr. Cox. I tip my hat off to you again. Keep up the great work. Hope to see you in the big leagues, or maybe I may catch you at a IWA promotion show or something like that. If I can travel that far, with me being retired from the business, is like, travel, but if you got YouTube matches, send them via my inbox, and I'll definitely support you and watch your matches, brother.
Much appreciated. Thank you very much.
Well,
No
here
problem.
at midnight, you can catch his first match in NGW on NGW Unlimited.
Oh, okay.
Watch until and when there's like a minute left, you don't have to watch the rest of that. It's all right.
Okay.
And about that, why would any promotion deny you entry, like ever?
I know a lot of promotions respect me. You know, I've been getting invited. Please come check out our show. Here's the list of our dates. I'm like, I'll try to make it. Then I'll get that urge, and then it's like, no, because like they say, once you retire, you go to a live event and you sit there in the crowd, and you're like, and that bug starts to bite you. Like, I gotta get up and go. I gotta go.
I understand completely.
So I say congratulations again on being
Thank you.
inducted into the Independent St. Louis Wrestling Hall of Fame. That ceremony again is going to be on Sunday, July 19th at Entree's Banquet and Catering in St. Louis. I'll be there, sir.
Awesome. We'll get a picture together.
Yeah. Well,
Yep.
I'm the
Thank you
camera
for
guy.
it.
Who is going to take the picture?
Alex, I know you're good at selfies. Come on now.
You seen the size of his camera? It's really hard to get a selfie with that. I'm not gonna.
My arms aren't that long.
Thanks,
Just
Max.
established saying, Beast, you will have a standing invitation to any NGW show and IWA as well.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
There is another person that claims to be a beast down this way. Part of my training class.
Yeah.
He's been
Dangerous
on this show.
D.
Yep. Dangerous D.
Wow.
The beast. Hey, I'm just saying.
What's that famous saying? To be the man, you got to beat the man.
Hey, you get an itch. There you go. This is the era of passing the torch. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Maybe we can get that to work out.
All right, but thank you again for joining us very much, sir. And again, congratulations on this great honor. We will see you there on July 19th.
Thank you again, guys. Have a great evening.
All right.
You too.
Have a good night, sir. Thank you.
Okay. Bye-bye.
It's always a pleasure being able to talk to somebody of the Beast caliber.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
And it's a great pleasure being able to sit under his learning tree too.
Very much so. Very much so. Right. The more I get to meet veterans from, I meet a lot of the local veterans easier, but getting the ones that are a little bit more outside my bubble, it's always nice to interact with.
Yeah. Donde, you are not a camera guy. You're not camera guy, Donde. What's that other phrase? The greatest form of flattery is imitation.
Yeah, sincerely.
Yeah.
But I mean, the thing is, it's it's definitely well deserved for Beast to go.
Is it flattery if Donde's doing it?
Well, of course.
It's a little stalkerish. He's always there. Every time I see you, he's always around the corner. You don't see him, but everybody else sees him. Yeah.
Just
there are some people who think that camera guy and Donde are one and the same.
I can attest they're not the same. But if Alex is around, Donde's not far behind.
Now,
he told me not to tell you. I
Donde
couldn't keep it from you anymore.
So.
Yeah, we have been in the same place. Season 2 of Donde Estoy is Donde Estoy and camera guy.
Is that why someone sent to GGO Studios a picture of you and Donde reenacting the poster from Step Brothers?
No, I think that's AI.
I don't know. The texts here have gone over with a fine-tooth comb. Haven't seen any.
All right, you can't trust those is this photo AI sites, because I've taken some of my pictures and put them into the is this AI site, and it's just always telling me that the pictures that I take are AI, which means that either my pictures are really bad or really good.
You gotta check the fingers. How many fingers, and if they're facing the right directions.
Yeah, exactly, and where that third arm is going,
Dante saying, I take picture of Alex and Tommy Rooster together, prove they are not the same. No, people are confused that me and Tommy are the same person.
It's all those tattoos, man.
I'm very proud of my tattoo.
It's the tattoos and the long, luscious locks.
Oh,
Look, I have never seen an adult with so many Disney tattoos.
Oh man, yeah, it's
adults.
No, my tattoo, Star Trek fan. So of course, my tattoo right big on my chest is the cloaked Klingon bird of prey.
And I also like the description you have underneath it, but it's not what you think it is.
Speaking of description, Guido, you have a wonderful pro tip under your name this week.
Yeah, exactly. Fireworks are not handheld. Like I said, we're entering the season where people exit the weekend with fewer fingers than they entered it with. So, again, safety is everyone's, should be everyone's top priority.
Yes.
We hope everybody has a fun 4th of July. We hope everybody has a happy 4th of July, especially for our American audience, it being America's 250th birthday. But we also, above all else, hope everybody has a safe 4th of July.
Yes, very much so.
And remember to leave milk and cookies out for Captain America so he can bring you your freedom. I don't know if anyone's noticed the Hawaiian shirt I'm wearing today, but it's one of the many right. Captain America things around the house. So,
all right, but I want to, thank you for joining us here tonight, Mr. Cox, to be a part of this interview with the Beast. I hope you had fun.
Absolutely, have to have me back sometime.
Yep, and I also want to thank everybody, for joining in tonight. I also want to do a special thank you to our sponsors, Nick's Home Decor, Ringside Buffet in Mount Vernon, Illinois, ATS Collectibles down in Smithton, and special shout out to the Dr. Dallas Show every Sunday at 7 p.m. on YouTube and Facebook Live. Have you guys noticed that there's something a little bit different when I bring up pictures today? Instead of it just popping in, it fades in and then fades away.
It just pops in for us.
I see it. It's fading in and out. That's kind of cool. All right, but everybody make sure.
We don't leave milk and cookies out for Kurt Angle. Kurt Angle doesn't bring us our freedom. He brings us ankle locks.
But you know what? Kurt Angle won a gold medal for the United States of America with a broken freaking neck. I think that deserves milk and cookies, Guido.
Absolutely.
I'm not disagreeing with that.
And not only that, but you know what? I'm going to go out and I'm going to say, the most controversial opinion of the night. Kurt Angle eats spaghetti properly. He goes, he stabs it, lifts it up, cuts it with a
Whoa.
That's the right way to eat spaghetti.
Whoa.
That's the American way.
Whoa.
The real American way.
No. That is incredibly wrong. That is right up there with breaking it before you put it in the pot. And all
right, my
Nona be rolling in her grave.
We have 3 people here, so we're going to get a best 2 out of 3 opinion on something that drives me nuts and has been an argument in the Camera Guy household for quite some time right now, because we're back to food. It always comes back to food on this show. All right. Say you have a plate, and on the plate is a piece of cake. Okay? There's frosting on the cake, normal, everyday piece of cake. What instrument are you using? What utensil are you using to eat the cake?
If anyone says it's something that's not a fork, they're wrong.
Guido?
Monday's in the chat, so get enough, but no, a fork. Yeah.
Thank you. There are certain people who eat cake with spoons, and I don't understand it.
Just cake, no ice cream.
I can understand that. But...
Just cake. No, if it was ice cream cake, spoon is acceptable. but just normal everyday cake and a spoon. Not a straw, Dade.
Well, if you let it. Yeah, no. Yeah, there's.
Yeah. Okay.
Or
We
fork.
got Scott in the chat saying fork. Okay. I think we can come to a consensus that the proper way to eat cake is with a fork and not a spoon.
I mean, because that's the thing. It's
I guess you could always stab
why
it with
you,
a knife.
it's why
But
you
I don't
always saved your
recommend.
fork at the family events. Because you need the fork for the cake afterward.
Yeah. All right, we've gone way off a little bit more than normal. All right, but again, thank you for everybody watching tonight. Make sure you give us a top rope elbow drop on that like button. Share, subscribe, ring-a-ding-a-ding-dong, the notification bell.
Who?
Absolutely not. No, not spoon all the way. No, not ice cream cake. Normal cake. Normal everyday cake. All right, but again, thank you everybody for joining us here tonight. And of course, we will see you again next week.